this is the last part of day 2, and I don't want to spend too much time explaining this to you because in fact, I've already shown it to you by adding the blocks because now I want you to start having practice. And for the last part of day 2, I would like you now to open up your Groove Pages. And now I'm going to swap the screen to Groove Pages. And I'd like you to do a few simple exercises for practicing how to build your website using blocks. All right, now on Groove Pages, I would like you to do this exercise. Here you have already got the pages which you have already imported. I would say you can play around with it, start exploring it if you like, but more importantly, before you explore changing the words and content in the page, if you want to use this template to build a website, I would like you to now click on the plus button and go to blank template, because I want to show you how you could, with earlier on you have the design that you like from a website that you have identified, and now you have thought of it as blocks. I would like you to now practice how to add the block to your page. So if you could follow after me and just play around with this aspect of Groove Pages, and this is how we will, hopefully at the end of it, you master this and you know how to add blocks into your website when you start building web pages. So when you go with a blank template, all you need to do is start by clicking the plus button. So here, remember, we have got a few ways of building it. So you might want to start with an empty block. So you could just add an empty block over here as the first block on your canvas. So go ahead and add the empty block. Here, it looks a little bit empty. So you're thinking, how do I add text and images into it? So don't worry about that. That's going to be in the later part of the challenge. I'll show you how you add text and build your website. This is in day 3. When we go really deep into how to work on this canvas. But here we want to learn and practice adding blocks into the website. So with a normal website, you probably have a navigation bar. So just go to add the block. So again, if you miss that, there's the plus, right? So let's just delete this. Let's start all over again, get the plus, add in a navigation bar. So a usual standard website would have a navigation bar. So any navigation bar that you like, you could change this and customize the colors later on. But this exercise is just to add and have a feel of adding it as a block. So you've got your block 1 already. You see, you have got this navigation bar block. So add on the second block. So remember, maybe you want the header. And remember, we have got the save header that we like at the beginning. So you could just add this block as well, or any other block that you like. So here, your whole website has already got 2 blocks. One is the navigation bar, one is the hero section, the top of the fold. The first thing people see when they go to your website, which is the headline and maybe a button that links to somewhere else. Okay, we're not going to stop there. Let's add another block, and maybe we want to add a content block. So there are so many blocks which you can choose from. And over here, maybe we want to add this block here that explains about who you are. You just change up the photo, click on the gear button. I won't show it to you now, but that is where you configure it, or you could just choose, and it's quite self-explanatory, update and close and change the photo. So you've got this other block here. Now let's go with adding at the top or bottom. Let's now add on the top, maybe more content. So as you can see and explore here, you can choose whichever content which you feel is something that you like. So maybe instead of having the layout where the photo appears on the left side, you might want your photo to appear on the right side. So you may add that block and now delete this block over here. This is just to show you, of course, find out what you want to add on. One thing is that at this stage, when you are creating websites for the first time, make it as simple as possible. Don't try to complicate things. In fact, if you want to have a standard website up, I would say it may be at most you have 3 blocks: the navigation bar, the hero headline block, and maybe some content about your business. So here, there's some content. And the last one is probably you want to have a footer. A standard website usually have got footers. So we just use the footer block and we just add it on like that. And there you go. You have got in just a few clicks, you have got all the blocks on your website. That's what I mean when I said you could build websites easily as stacking blocks together. You see with this navigation bar, by the way, if you're wondering, why is there a page 14 here? On the pages, there's this primary navigation. So the navigation bar automatically detects what are the pages you have on your primary navigation. If you want to hide page 14, that's why there's the hidden pages here. Click on the six dots, and you can drag it down to hidden pages. So when you do that, the navigation bar will no longer show that page because it's not part of the primary navigation. So that's just a pre-configured code or navigation bar which automatically detects. You can see in the breadcrumbs in this navigation bar 5 that it automatically detects what are the pages in your primary navigation. So just push up contact, and there you go. So that's just one way you could use or create your website, your web page. Let's just start with your home page, your landing page, your main website page with using pre-configured blocks by adding the plus button. But the other way you could start, or you could do it differently if you wanted to add in your own elements and so on, is also to just use empty blocks. So maybe you want to use an empty block for content. Maybe you don't want to have a 2x2 layout. So you might just, and here, you can just use the arrow to push it down. And so you have got one block here where you could start adding text and headers too. So at this point, you can start playing around with it. You could just get the H1, in any header element, and then you could get the paragraph element to add text to it. But you can see here that, oh, the heading looks, what is this? It looks really squashed up. It doesn't look nice at all. So this is what we're going to tackle in day 3. So I would say today we covered quite a fair bit of things. Don't worry too much about the way it looks right now, because I'm going to show you how you can configure this block over here and adding contents to your page if you are building it from empty blocks. I don't want to go too deep into this because tomorrow, day 3, we are going to start exploring all these over here, the spacing, what size, box shadow, and layout. We'll just be focusing on all the core things that you need to learn in order to skillfully navigate around all these elements, but they will be going to elements on the page. For today, the last exercise is to start stacking blocks together. Once you have done that, you have accomplished the outcome of day 2, which is being able to add in as many blocks as you want, learn how to move it around using click on the block, be familiar with the breadcrumbs, push it up or push it down, delete it. And so that is the main takeaway that you should aim for in day 2 of the 5 days Build My Website Challenge. I'm just going to delete that block. And you can see here, navigation bar, hero part of the page, some content, and a footer. So once you have done that, well done. And you can start on day 3 of the 5 days Build My Website Challenge.